Good morning, everyone, and thank goodness it's Friday. Now, Friday is usually when there's more traffic on the road than any other days of the week. Now, if you're caught in traffic inside your car, what is it that you usually do? Of course, if you're a driver, you should be paying attention to the road and stay alert. Now, when I'm being, driven around and I'm caught in traffic, of course, I usually check emails, texts, listen to music on my headphones, or play some games on my smartphones as well. Now, if you're driving in your car and tuning in right now, we have a great song. Get your Friday more started right, of course. And the song is by my man Jason Derulo, featuring Snoop D-O-double-G with Wiggle. That was Jason Derulo featuring Snoop D-O-double-G with Wiggle, Wiggle, Wiggle. And right now, you guys are tuning in to What's Poppin' with your boy Brian Ju on TBS efm 101.3 in Seoul and the surrounding areas, GFN 98.7 in Gwangju, 93.7 in Yeosu. Y'all didn't think I can rap that fast, right? Yeah, I sound like the outsider right there. Anyways, a couple of reminders. If you have Twitter, please follow us at TBS What's Poppin'. And if you have an email, a shout out, or any questions at all, efmpoppin@gmail.com is the address to send all that information and questions to. And if you're interested in our playlist, come check it out on our website at tbsefm.soul.kr/EFM/What's Poppin'. But for now, we have a few words from our sponsors. It is Friday morning, and it's also time for today's pick. Now, when was the last time that you took a pen and wrote a letter to a friend or a family member? Now, nowadays, it's rarely time for people to pick up pens and papers to communicate with others. Instead, a lot of people go online and just send emails. It's so simple, and everybody wants to choose a simple way. However, such traditional methods have many, many benefits, y'all. Writing a letter has so many benefits. Now, research has shown that the general act of writing by hand can promote quite a few physical and mental benefits. Such benefits include improving learning abilities and fostering a more positive outlook on life. And on top of that, the impact of sending messages on the traditional letters, cards, or maybe postcards, and in Korea they have all those cute little, fancy letter, kits, of course. That can have alternative methods they offered in high-tech world. Now, the moment you commit to paper, for others are more likely to stay stored in your own memory as well. And it's because this allows you both to reflect back and appreciate what you have written and what they receive in the future. Also, the careful intentions of the sender and the value experienced by the receiver can be found more easily. So, for this upcoming weekend, why don't you guys try and pick some of your friends and family that you want to actually write a sincere letter to? And I'm not talking about on your computer, on your keyboard. I'm saying get a piece of paper and a pen, and this will make them feel better as well as yourself feel better. Whether you're trying to cultivate a little romance, nurture a friendship, or simply stay connected with loved ones while abroad, writing letters will be a warm gift for both of you guys, for the person receiving and sending. And we're going to listen to a great song by Mr. Jay-Z. The song is called Say Hello. Alrighty, that was Jay-Z with a song called Say Hello. Now, to talk a little bit about Mr. Jay-Z, according to an economic analysis, Jay-Z's Made in America Festival brought LA almost $15 million. Now, for those of you guys who are not familiar with the festival, it was founded back in 2012 by Jay-Z and his business associate, Steve Stout, to bring together music and culture. And I wish I could visit this festival later in my life, because apparently it's music and fun and a great time. Anyways, moving on, we got two great songs from the 90s coming your way. So if you're from that period, you guys are going to love these songs. We got Tatiana Ali, Boy You Knock Me Out, and Tina Moore with Never Gonna Let You Go. Yeah, that was Tina Moore with Never Let You Go. And right before that, we had Tatiana Ali, Boy You Knock Me Out. Now, of course, you guys know, when I listen to these old school jams, it takes me back to the good old days when I was young, no skin problems, no bone problems, and I could do whatever I wanted to because I had no fear in the world. And I bet a lot of people can relate to some of these tracks just like me. Now, you guys know the power of music is incredible, and I love the power of music. Now, speaking of old school jams, we're going to listen to another 90s jam, of course. Before we get Ginny up in here for her segment called Say What, we got Weezer with Across the Sea. Alrighty, y'all, welcome back to the second half of What's Poppin' on this lovely Friday morning. And I have the lovely Ginny in the studio with me right now. How are you doing, Ginny?
Very good, and you?
Not too bad. The new year has, been good to me so far. Of course, I've been busy starting the new year, but of course, things are winding down a little bit, and I get some time to myself. I'm slowly thinking about maybe taking a vacation for a little bit.
Oh, wow. I envy you. The vacation to where?
I haven't thought about it yet. Somewhere warm, obviously, because it's so cold in Korea that I think that's why it's hard for me to get rid of my sickness and my colds. And I'm really prone and weak to sicknesses. I don't know why. Just whenever the weather goes down, in weather, I just get sick. And I take my meds, I take my vitamins, but still, you can't fight it. Old age. Yes, it kicks in.
Not old age, but yeah.
Yes. But what about you? If you could go on vacation right now, where would you want to go?
I'd like to go to Guam.
Guam.
Like
same
our
thing
producer.
for the weather?
Yeah, same
Be
thing
by
for
the
the
beach?
weather. Yeah.
Have a nice little cocktail. Read a nice book.
Good. Very good.
Well, I mean, that's a great thing about imagination, too. We don't physically have to be somewhere.
Right.
But if you think of a great place, close your eyes and just imagine yourself being there, sometimes that can put you in a great mood as well.
Right. That's right.
But don't do it now because you have to lead your segment.
Closing my eyes.
See, y'all don't know, but Ginny just closed her eyes and she fell asleep for a minute. And I was like, no, you can't imagine now.
Okay. Time for
Anyways, we're here to entertain you guys for the next 30 minutes.
Right.
And we got some news.
Yeah, we got some news.
Yes, we do.
But before we begin, I'd like to ask you a question, Brian.
Yes, sure.
When was the first time? Or do you remember the first time that you did your recording?
Of course I remember the first time. It was the worst experience of my life.
Oh, really?
All my
Why?
listeners and fans are probably like, no. No, you don't know what it's like to be the first time in a recording studio. It's nerve-wracking.
Right.
You're not great in the studio. People are yelling at you.
People yell at you.
Yes. They're like, do it again. That's not right. You sound weird. Your pronunciation's off. Your feeling's not there. And you just feel like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this?
There's
That
so
was
many...
my, not being mean, but, it's like back in school. When you're trying to, learn new things, the teacher's always telling you, you need to study this, read that, da-da-da. So it kind of felt like you're back in grade school, junior high.
Right.
And the teacher's telling you what to do. And then you get frustrated. So I remember my first recording session was a very frustrating moment for me. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm assuming you've never have you recorded before?
No.
Okay. I hope you never have to go through that.
Okay. I asked that question because our first news is about first recording.
Okay.
It's Elvis Presley's first recording sells for $300,000 at Graceland auction.
Wow. How did he get a hold of that? They probably just saved it in the studios then, maybe.
No, actually, one of his friends had it.
Okay.
And he passed it to his niece. And she had it and she just put it up on the auction. So,
Wait. If your family members, hold on to that. That's like good family memorabilia.
right, I agree, but actually she's not a family because she is the niece of Elvis Presley's friend.
Okay. So it's
a
just family friend.
Yeah, family friend,
okay.
right. But still.
All right. So are they just selling it? Are they auctioning it? Or
They actually auctioned it. The auction took place on January 8th.
Okay.
And, if Elvis Presley was alive, it would have been the singer's 80th birthday. So.
Oh, 할아버지.
Yeah,
잘
grandpa.
쉬세요.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
And the first recording is only one of its kind in existence.
Okay.
And it was recorded by Presley himself, who was only 18 at the time.
Oh, that's when, of course, all the girls are going crazy for him.
Very much crazy.
Yes.
And Brian, you know what? Although the fans knew about the existence of the disc, there are many disputes about the origin of the disc.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'd agree, and I'd probably think about that same thing. Yeah. I'd probably be in disputes as well.
Yeah, right. So there are two theories.
Okay.
So the first one is about Presley's, the one I mentioned, friend Ed Leek. He claimed to have given the singer $4 to fund the recording, and naturally he inherited the disc when Presley left it behind at his home.
$4?
Yeah, $4.
What?
Yeah.
$4, and that's going to now sell for $300,000?
Right.
Wow.
Very nice.
Okay, well, that's one story.
Yeah, that's one story.
All right.
And the other theory is that the rock legend intended to give the recording to his mother as a gift. So...
Okay, so he recorded it at the age of 18 and wanted to give it to his mom.
Yeah.
But then somehow Ed Leek...
Yeah. Ended up...
The funny thing, it's funny that his name is Leek. He leaked it to his niece.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so...
So how did this take place and what
Yeah,
happened?
the auction. Well, there were other auction items too. Actually, Presley's first driver's license from 1952.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty old, isn't it?
Yes.
A custom watch, a jacket worn in the 1964 film Viva Las Vegas, and many more.
Why would you want an old license?
I don't know.
I understand
Actually,
the
I wanted
watch.
to-
You can wear a watch.
Yeah.
I can understand the jacket. You can wear the jacket. But
Yeah.
license, it's
License.
expired.
I don't know. Actually, I wanted to ask you that, Brian, because, as a celebrity, if, fans want to take hold of your, belongings, possessions, what do you think their, psychology is? Why do you want to keep the celebrities, items?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I have no idea. As much as I love Michael Jackson, I don't think I'd want a
T-shirt.
baseball card he had. But maybe his T-shirt, because then I know he wore it, so I can wear it.
Yeah.
It's different on what the item is, but not to the point where you're going to take their used driver's license. That's kind of weird.
Right. Right.
So with that said, we do have an Elvis Presley song for you guys set up. The song is called Love Me Tender. Love Me Tender by Elvis the Man Presley. Of course, God rest his soul, he isn't with us anymore, but his 80th birthday is this year, so happy 80th birthday, Mr. Elvis Presley, a.k.a. Harabaji of Rock. That's what I'm going to call him. Happy birthday. But we're moving on to the next news.
Yes, next news. It's about Voyage.
Okay.
Our second news is about Sting.
Okay.
His musical, The Last Ship. It will be closing on Broadway. And the closing date will be January 24th.
Oh. Alrighty.
And the musical started last year, October 26th, so it's a couple of months of running time. And last month, in December, Sting himself was enlisted to perform The Last Ship. And he took the supporting role of a shipyard foreman in the musical. And guess what? Sales went up because he was there.
Of course, when a celebrity's involved, sales do go up.
Yes. And let's talk a little bit more about the money part.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure with Sting involved, it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah. The production cost was $15 million.
Oh my gosh.
Just to bring it to Broadway. So pretty much. Plus another $625,000 a week in running fees.
Oh my
For
gosh.
running. So expensive, isn't it?
Exactly.
So the musical is based on the musician's autobiographical album of the same name. And his childhood, Sting's troubled relationship with his father, and the confining environment of his hometown, England. They all have been recurrent themes in Sting's work, and he revisits them in the musical.
I wish you would bring this to Korea. I'm pretty sure a lot of Sting fans in Korea would love to see this.
Right, right. And one of the climaxes of the musical is the shutdown of the shipyard. That's the background. And it's where the townspeople have worked for all their lives. So it would be pretty, disappointing, right?
Yeah. Sad already just listening about it. Okay.
Yeah. And the workers' determination to build one last ship is a final testament to their humanity and, the meaning of their lives.
Exactly. Okay.
And since I'm really into metaphors and stories, I think the metaphors are really great in the musical. You're in a ship. It's a big metaphor for life, traveling along the life's river, bound for parts unknown, because, we can never see the future. And then, hopefully, we'd return home safe and sound.
This sort of kind of sounds like a musical that I did a few years back in America. And it wasn't a ship, we were on a train.
Wow.
Now, it was about this young kid who has just lost his father, but he inherited his father's money. And another story, so there's two stories at once. A mother who lost her child. So they're both on this train, and this spoiled little brat of a kid who has all this money. He's so happy he has all this money, but he doesn't really know what love is. And then the mom's just lost her child, so of course she lost her love.
Yes.
Family member.
Wow.
And then she sees this kid who's about the same age as her son, and she's trying to teach him a life lesson about love. And then they're on this fantasy train, and it ends up going to all these different countries.
Wow.
Starting with, I forget where it started off in, but we had like Jamaica, Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Australia, all these different places. And we just sing music about how grand life is and how you should be grateful and, just don't take life for granted. And then in the end, of course, you realize that the kid realizes his lesson about what love is. So, I mean, this musical, obviously, story-wise, a little bit different.
Yeah.
But, because you're on a ship and, you're talking about life more here.
Right.
But ours is more about love on a train. So it's very similar. And I had fun doing that musical.
So were you the boy in the musical?
No. The boy was... I forget his name. We're friends on Facebook, but I forgot the actor's name. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Okay.
But I was the representative for Korea. So like I said, they went to different countries.
Yeah.
So I was male representative for Korea, and the female representative for Korea was another female artist from the States.
Wow.
Because they needed bilingual singers.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Oh, pretty cool.
And her name was Heather Park.
Heather Park.
And we keep in contact still. Heather's a great vocalist. I think she has one of the most beautiful voices of all time. But enough about me. Enough about our story.
Okay.
We're going back to Sting. And right now we're going to listen to a song by Sting, since we're talking about Mr. Sting himself. And the song is called What Have We Got? That was Sting with What Have We Got? And of course, we're moving on from Sting's news to the next bit of news that you brought with you.
Right. It's the last news, and it's about a documentary film.
I love documentary films.
Me too. Okay, it's about the struggling musicians in Nashville. And later this month, a new documentary titled Band on the Brink, The New Dylans, will be screening at the Belcourt Theater.
Okay.
The theater is a Nashville art house cinema, and the band will play a short set after the showing.
Alrighty.
And a Nashville newspaper is shedding some light on the day-to-day struggles of working musicians in the music city.
Alrighty.
And they're using the new Dylans as their source material.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so not many people heard about new Dylans, I guess. They're
actually, it's new for me too.
New for me too, actually. So I looked it up on the net, and back in the 80s, they were a band on the brink, and the bandmates, included Jim Riley and Reese Campbell.
Okay.
And I searched a little bit more about Jim Riley.
Okay.
And for the past 16 years, Riley has supported himself as a professional songwriter. And there are many people who do music in the city, and he is an example of someone who's made it as a professional songwriter.
So technically he didn't just write songs for themselves, but for other artists.
Right, that's right. So he made a living out of it, but life's not so easy on him either. So this is what he said, I quote, as a creator, it's not the perfect environment for creation, the city. It is a music city, but it's really music business city. There are not a lot of people who have been doing it long who aren't really hollow and bitter, because that's kind of what it makes you. That's what he said.
Oh, that is true, because sometimes when you're in the music business, you don't realize what you actually have to go through. A lot of people who aren't experiencing what we do experience are just thinking that music is easy. Just write it down on paper. Or just write down the melodies. No, all that thinking and all that stuff that you go through with record labels and productions, and it just gets really hectic.
Yes.
And very stressful for a lot of songwriters. And that's why I've tried writing songs, and I do enjoy coming up with songs, but then it's whatever happens after that just gets really hectic. Yes.
Thank you.
And since we are talking about some Nashville artists, we have a Nashville representative artist lined up for you guys right now. The group is called Alabama, and the song is called Dixieland Delight. Alrighty, that was Alabama with Dixieland Delight. And unfortunately, it is time to end our show for today. But guess what, y'all? Just because we're over doesn't mean the party's over.
Right.
It is the weekend, so y'all have a great Friday evening. And of course, a Saturday and Sunday as well. And we'll see you back on Monday. And thank you, Jenny, for coming up with some great news.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Alrighty, with that said, we have the last song for you guys. It's the brand new Heavies, A Dream on Dreamer. And on behalf of TBS efm's What's Poppin', this is Brian Jew and
Jenny.
we're signing off.
Peace.